Okay, I've got 4 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call the workshop, the town council meeting for February 14th, 2022 to order, and the first order of business would be the invocation and the pledge. So please stand for the invocation, then you can come up for the pledge.
All right, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day, and Lord, thank you for the beautiful weather that we had this past week. And Lord, as always, we continue to lift up our country and our community. Father, we ask you please watch over those who are sick and in need and suffering. And Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather here together, and we just ask for a productive and wonderful meeting this evening. All these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Join me up here for the lead us in the pledge. Stand right there. It's the flag, right?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Yes, and that's Cub Scouts from Pack 420 joining us today. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to assist you in that. And after the meeting, I can meet with you for a few minutes if you've got any questions also. Okay, a couple of things we've got. We do have a public hearing at 4:15, concept plan for Meadows at Town Run. And then we've got Roderick Lewis with us on the video. He's the field rep for Senator Colvin, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Is that my cue to go ahead with my little spiel?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, well, good afternoon, Mayor and members of the Town Council, and if there's any citizens there, good afternoon to you as well. For those of you who are familiar with who I am, I'm Roderick Lewis. Like the Mayor said, I am Senator Cardin's Southern Maryland field representative. I had the pleasure of meeting some of you at the Veterans Day Parade some months ago, which was a great event. Attended plenty of times, but was the first time attending representing Senator Cardin, so it was a pleasure to be there with you all. But just a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention. Our office is still conducting meetings regarding congressionally directed spending earmarks. I believe a member of your staff was able to hop on our Southern Maryland municipality earmark call that we had some weeks ago. If that's something that the town is interested in pursuing with their office and would like to meet again with our appropriations advisor, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be happy to coordinate such a meeting. The administration has released a guidebook specifically for local municipalities such as yourself that can follow what pots of money is available under the bipartisan infrastructure law. I believe I've shared that with the town. If not, please let me know and I will make sure I've shared it again. But you can access it at build.gov is the website. And there's a document on there that outlines what pots of money is available for what type of projects, whether that's bridge and roads, broadband, etc. I would like to organize a call with all the Southern Maryland municipalities in the weeks to come, where Senator Cardi can kind of provide an overview of the law in greater detail to you and your town council, join with other Southern Maryland municipalities as well. So it's my understanding that Councilmember Mattingly is involved with the Southern Maryland municipalities. So I look forward to connecting with you, sir, in the coming weeks to hopefully organize that type of event. The last thing I would mention is that under the bipartisan infrastructure law, there was 25 competitive grants, some of them already established under law and were expanded, and there are some that were newly established under law. that they are directly targeted to local municipalities. So I haven't shared that document yet. I just discovered it today, so I'll be sure to share that with Ms. McKay. Those are competitive grants specifically for jurisdictions such as yourself. So I don't want to make sure you miss that opportunity. With that, I just want to say, I want to be a partner in serving Southern Maryland constituents with you all. So please don't hesitate to reach out. If there's any concern involved in a federal matter, I am a resource to you all. And with that being said, thank you. Happy to take any questions if there are any, but if not, it's nice being with you all this afternoon.
Certainly appreciate you joining us today, and certainly we will be looking into that, and I'm sure Jay will be in touch with you on Southern Maryland Municipal Association. So, yes, thank you very much, and tell the senator we said hi. So,
Will do.
thank you. Okay, move on our agenda here. We do have approval of minutes from last month. Any comments? Corrections?
All right, well, I move to approve the January 10th, 2022 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I'm going to abstain, Mayor. I was absent for the January meeting.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, then we do have a special proclamation today for Ms. Wray, Christine Wray. Come on up and join me, please. Yeah, come on. Turn around. Sure. See the audience? Okay. Proclamation recognizing her valuable contributions. Christine Wray. Whereas Christine Wray began her career with St. Mary's Hospital as president in 1992 and began immediately to inspire the hospital community to higher achievements. These past 30 years have seen her rewarded with the results of generating significant improvements to bring the Leonardtown and surrounding communities a more advanced healthcare facility. And whereas Christine Wray worked closely with the town of Leonardtown to create an environment that engaged with the town's objectives and needs of the local residents, provide better quality of service and better quality of life to the community. And whereas under her leadership, she led the effort to merge with Medstar, a nonprofit healthcare organization, to expand with more advanced medical knowledge, equipment, highly skilled medical staff, and continued facilities improvements and growth. She is unique and special to our community, and we wish her good Godspeed as she travels and spends time embracing her family and friends. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Leonardtown, encourage the community of the town of Leonardtown and join in recognizing Christine Wray for her vision and encouragement for the next generation, and wish her the very best in retirement. Signed this date, February 14th, 2022, by the Mayor and Town Council. And we also have another little gift for you. This is a trade with Leonardtown North.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may just say to all of you, and forgive me, and just thank you all so much for the honor. It's truly been a privilege to work with some of the most amazing people the last 30 years who are truly dedicated to serving our community. Very proud to have been able to work with Laschelle, our town mayor, and to the council people before you, as well as all of you, but really proud of the work and being part of an important part, I think, of Leonardtown. And I'm proud to say John and I are staying put, so this is where we live. Really looking forward to retirement too. Can't.
But love being in Rotary with you, Leonardtown Rotary with you.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, so many things over the 30 years. I thank you all so much for your support and for the town's support of the hospital all these years. So thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Rebecca, Treasurer's report, please.
Okay, quickly, we'll go over the January financial information in your packet. There were no transfers to or from the operating account during the month. We are 58% of the budget. In your January report, you might be interested in the snow removal expenses. That does not reflect invoices that were paid after the report was prepared.
Yeah.
And we did have a few, so we're actually up to about $52,000 in snow removal so far this year. I do have one Leonardtown property tax account that remains in the county tax sale. During January, new construction tax billing happened. We added 40 accounts at $16 million worth of assessed value. I think that's the most new construction valuation we've ever had since I've been here. Still working on a flurry of fiscal note requests. I'm up to 29 of those. Between now and the next council meeting, I'll be working on the budget, and I have received budget requests. And the draft will be distributed at the next council meeting, and then workshops will follow. So the only item that I need council approval for is write-off of one small uncollectible utility account. You do have a memo in your packet that explains the details. It's a total of $168.21. We just generally have a policy where staff does not approve those write-offs of uncollectible accounts. And honestly, I can't tell you when the last time we had to write off an uncollectible account. It's very rare.
And just, for the record, it was Pet Value, which is a chain that closed and have no way of getting that.
Right. Our utility deposit was just a little short in what the outstanding balance was for their account.
So we need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Any comments, questions?
So I move to approve writing off the balance of $168.21 for the Pet Value uncollectible account.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Was the property for tax sale, is that because of utility billing or taxes? Property tax?
It's for property taxes.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever sent an uncollectible utility account to tax sale just because we have the ability to disconnect service.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. And I do have 4:15, so I'd entertain a motion to close the regular meeting, open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for the concept plan for Meadows Town Run 2.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Laschelle,
Case number 100-15A, Meadows at Town Run 2 at the intersection of Hollywood Road and Dry Dock Lane is requesting concept approval for their planned unit development. The owner is Quality Built Homes, and it's 137.51 acres, zoned PUD. The subject property is on the east side of Maryland Route 245, in close proximity to the McIntosh Road intersection, better known as the Wilkinson Farm, and it will connect in the southern boundary to Town Run 1, Meadows at Town Run 1. And the farm was annexed into town in August of 2015, and per the annexation agreement, the applicant agreed to dedicate a parcel of sufficient size to accommodate a well and water tower. We have been meeting with the developer throughout 2021 to come to the place today to move this forward. It's important to note, if you look at your plans on the front page, the density table, the developer condensed the building to a very small portion of the property. They have over 75% open space on this property and are keeping all the surrounding to any existing neighbors. It will still be wooded. And if you combine it with the Meadows at Town Run 1, they're still going to have 67% open space for the whole project. Per the zoning, the density would have been able to be 917 units on both parcels, but what they're proposing is only 410 for the combined Meadows 1 and Meadows 2. This parcel, they're proposing 12 single-family units, 147 townhome units, and 144 apartment units, which will be owned and operated by Quality Built Homes. And there'll be 4 separate apartment buildings with 36 apartments each, and they'll also have amenities that you're going to see today. There'll be a 5-foot wide path that will be between Meadows 1 and Meadows 2 with 8-foot areas for passing. So people could use golf carts or walk or jog. It's going to be really beautiful in the back there. We have Rodney Gertz with us today. He'll kind of walk through the plan and then if you have any questions.
Hey, Rodney.
How you guys doing today?
Real good. How are you?
Great. This is where we never know if we're looking.
I know.
Right here, so
We're going to add another.
If he wants to see anything, just kind of.
They have plans, so if you show the audience more,
Okay.
it's probably done.
So
I think the best thing to do is show the audience all the open space that you're having.
So first off, that's what we'll show. And so in designing this project and going forward, there were several concepts, and one of them originally was to stay primarily single family, but he utilized a great amount of the project that was pretty much using all of this property and everything, and to continue in that route. And then we were looking at what to do, and ultimately to incorporate kind of a higher density. We stayed with a number that we could have achieved with single families and kind of went to that density. So we're not maxing the density. We're not just trying to go in there and kind of pile stuff in. So it allowed us to, the stream crossings in here and all, we allowed us to kind of just stay on this side of the stream crossing for the environmental sake of the farm, stay out in a lot of the open field area that's currently field that you see out there is where the construction is in the back, where the water tower would be, and some townhomes back here where the path would go and eventually connect over to Meadows Town Run. That's going to be a scenic path through the woods. When we get down to the wetland, it'll be more, even in the stream, it'd be more like kind of you would see like a walkway, whether you were in South Carolina or in Queenstown, over on the Eastern Shore, where you see the walk paths, the wooded walk paths. We do envision like kind of like you'd see like one little spot that's just more aesthetic than anything, but right where the stream crossing would be, there'd be like almost a covered bridge type of setting. Maybe you'd see in a photograph of a Southern Maryland or a Pennsylvania, whatever, you'd see a little crossing. So that's the vision, just to understand what the vision is there. And we're excited about that and the connectivity, and these pieces really serve as one. But with that, you can see the great amount of forest and trees are saved. When you talk about any type of smart growth or anything that, Maryland have their directing growth, this is it. They're directing growth where it's more on your water and sewer facilities and keep your whole building areas as tight as possible and save as much forest as you possibly can. And all the regulation goes that way as well. When you're going back to work another permitting, you have to kind of show that you're going this route, to even accomplish goals. So that's that. Does anybody have any questions on that, or how do I just?
You can just keep going.
Okay.
And we'll take questions at the end.
So I'll show you a few pictures along the way. You guys, so you see the bigger version of this. So the second would be, I'll show you guys first, and then I'll show Rails. So the second one is this was strictly like a little visual we did, just to show the connectivity and the sidewalks. They connect, not only in the community, but then the path is connecting here. So within the community, you see that there's a tremendous amount of, it's the Leonardtown type community where the connectivity and how important that is. And then I know when I was working on Leonard's grant with the town and Laschelle, and we were building all the sidewalks in the village green, I was like, well, I hope somebody's actually using this. And sure enough, we go down there in the first, in the first phase, you got down there out there playing kickball or whatever on the field. It's really getting used, which is great to see. So So this one for the public. Yeah, just to show the sidewalks. So just the color. I know it's a distance to see, but just the coloring here is just kind of the sidewalks that show the connectivity within the community and how we'll eventually go over with this path connect over to Meadows Town Run. And got that. Some of the product and some of the things to see will be some of the next slides. So or boards. So this is kind of what we're envisioning for the rec center. We're growing this building now, so we actually, as a builder, you always want to be able to grow it, so we actually go into commercial insight, kind of help you. You don't want your building to look too much like a residential structure, but yet you want it to complement. So we actually work really hard to get this where we think it's a great look for the rec center. So we've got this proposed. I think it's about 8,000 square foot, so it's a great size facility. Got a little bit of everything that can be done. We have a gym area, it's got a gathering area, it's got everything to create the sense of community. Within the neighborhood that people can come and gather there and get on a bike, and hopefully we envision them riding the bike all the way down to downtown Leonardtown. And that's how I've always been so thrilled to develop in Leonardtown, because that's the vision. Like as a builder developer, there's no greater sense of accomplishment than achieving that. Creating a community where people truly, Leonardtown's just, I say this every time I'm here, I'm blessed to be involved in Leonardtown, because Leonardtown's the charm. You got what you guys have created, and just the town itself, and then to then be part of that, to create that connectivity and whatever kind of makes that thriving. When you read anything about development and this and that, it talks about how creating that energy and that you have to have enough of the residential to support the commercial and find that correct balance, and then get people connected and utilizing their hometown, utilizing their backyard for that. And I think Leonardtown is a great example of that, and continually growing from there. So this will be the rec center. We're just seeing the gazebo here, tennis court in the back, playground. I think I have a bigger blow up of that, a pool here, and the rec center here. So very nice facility. There's another one I'll show you that has there's also a kind of a recreational field that's kind of over on the other side of all this. So it might show better on this next illustration. Yeah, so this was a little more of a blow up to see. So even when we actually put the apartment buildings in, we didn't kind of block like 4 apartment buildings side by side. So we kind of angled them and turned them to where they're kind of just, kind of embedded within the community, but they're not like just kind of thrown action. So here would be one in the back. You got a tennis court here, pool, playgrounds back here in this corner, and then this is a play field over here. So there's basically I don't know the exact size, but a couple 100 foot, nice size play field here, rec center and pool. So it's going to be really a great, facility. So I was just saying, hate saying all this double, but so this is where the rec center would be, and it's also the circle as you're coming into the community, kind of placed in the center of the community for that reason, that it's just a kind of a little energy part of the community. That we've got that. Then you've got your tennis courts, playground back here in this corner, the pool, rec center, and then over here is actually doesn't show real well here, but it's basically, it shows grass, but it's actually designed as a play field. And just kind of another visual here on the pool. You see that? And some of the product that we involved. You guys are very familiar with this. Obviously, this is the main street of Leonardtown. Leonard's brand. So coming down with the Village Series houses, we call them, Invocation, urban and garages in the back, creating the alleyways with the main street to kind of really give that feel. We kind of have it in Leonard's brand. We also have it. So just the main drag going on the left side with the single families that we kind of model this, where you've got the garages in the back, so they're alley entered to get in, and it just creates that real great streetscape, the median in the middle, and we kind of look at like we have kind of anchors, coming in from all sides of the project we're in, including that other side of Meadows Town Run with this type of housing being used. We couldn't there fit the actual the median, but in here we can fit the median again. It just kind of really comes across like once you get into Leonard's Grant, that median going down there with the trees, and then we'll work with the town on the trees that they want planted there versus if there's any maintenance on even the ones that are growing there to just really get a nice look with something that's easily maintained. So that's the single family component. The apartment buildings, we're modeling something that was actually built and had seen it over in another area that they showed us, like the look of the building. It has every unit has, I'm sorry, I should you guys that. Every unit has balconies. And this is actually a live photo. So I have drawings, but I just wanted to show this because you sometimes you see a drawing, but the live doesn't really turn out. So this is the live version of this building, and all we've really done is modified some exterior components, but minimal to this. And then interior, we obviously redesigned everything. But it's just a great looking building. It's got to me, it had a Southern Maryland feeling to it. You know, it's not a modernized, very, very modern looking building. So we've tried to create something that would kind of tie into the community itself and work that. So this is the actual building itself. And like I say, I'll go back to one of the earlier drawings to show you with the placement and how it's kind of not kind of in your face. And this is drawn off of like looking at, like this is when you're coming down the main drag, coming into the circle. This would be one of the, on the left, on the right side, there's 3 buildings. On the left side, there's 1. So it's not like I said, it's not 4 right there in a row and a line. We angled, you know, in reality, from looking at it on a computer, looking at the perspectives, you never really see more than one line because the building, you know, in this triangle, it's kind of well, we've got the ends coming out towards the main drag where you're not looking at the long lines of the building. And so we kind of worked hard to do that and look at the aesthetic placement. So we've got that there. I'm going to go back to this real quick. Probably use this one to be the easiest too. So the placement of those buildings would be the one that's over kind of behind the rec center. So the rec center is here. You come into the main entrance, come to the circle. The rec center will be right there on the circle and very, you know, predominant. And like I say, we really like how the architecture is going to look on that. And then the play fields here, pool, playground, tennis courts, and there's a building back here kind of on the left side of the road. And then these 3 angled and created this center area that'd be like a very recreational kind of for that, like whether it be, you know, we're looking at other, you know, things with, you know, that you put out in the middle here for kind of recreation for, and of course they're coming across the recreation across the street, but even to have some kind of this back, you know, kind of an area to go out and you know, gather or throw a frisbee, whatever would be right here in the middle. So we're really happy with how that's turning out. And this is the kind of townhouse design. You have some areas that you have the same thing. So along that main drag, you're going to have where the townhouse is actually load alley from the rear. So we're just really trying to keep that really just clean, you know, look as they're coming into this. And it's not possible everywhere else because you have, as the ground falls off,
Sure.
You have to go to the front load garages where you can't get, but anywhere we could, we actually went with this and it will create that look. And then once again, tying this to our product. You know, I think everybody has their own look in a sense, and as much as you think everybody draws and builds the same stuff, it's really little nuances that make differences, and we've always, you know, pride ourselves in that, and so we're kind of, you know, working in this product, and we're kind of showing more of a, you know, some buildings could be in a gray run, some will have more tone feel to it, and we'll go from there. So this will be the townhouse portion of the project. These have the 2 car garages behind them in more of a basement setting as the ground drops off a little bit, and this is where you have the front load, you know, garage within the community on the areas that require that. So. All that's it.
Okay.
Any questions or?
Did we receive any comments from the
We did
public?
not. We advertised the public hearing on January 20th, and we have not received any comments.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the audience today? Ms. Mattingly?
Yeah.
Just give us your name and address for the record.
Thomas Mattingly, Leonardtown, 41580 Oak Court, but I'm representing the fire department. You know, we've had a great relationship with Ronnie working in his other projects and everything. And we've had a chance to review the preliminary plans that you sent in. And we hope to have a little bit of dialogue as we get more details in those plans.
Absolutely.
You know, about the water system and some access to some areas and stuff like that. But we look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've talked to Chris, and you know, he wants to be more involved with, you know, where the hydrants are placed, that kind of thing, just to, yeah.
Absolutely, we have complete flexibility with that, and we surely, I'll have them actually contact you now. Obviously, early in the design's always better, and they're moving along that, but it's no problem at all at this stage to move anything we need to and get this, you know, let you guys decide what the saves.
Yeah, a little bit of concerns about some rear access to some of the layout that we have, just looking at the preliminary stuff. Unfortunately, you hear an awful lot with towns where they have balconies on the back or areas on the back, and they do some cookouts and stuff like that.
Right.
So you need access to that area as best as possible. So
Absolutely.
we'll be working with you.
Absolutely, no, sure.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments from the general public?
I just have a question. I'm Corporal Roszell, Commissioner's Office. With the apartments, is there open access to the doors to the apartments, or is there a front door that goes into a hallway that has the?
It would have open access, so these would be considered market rate housing. Number one, probably an important part to point out that it's basically market rate and 3-story walk-up. So these will be actually, they're on a 36 unit building, you have 2 areas. You know, you have kind of your pods of 12 units in each area. So you have 2 areas where there's stairwells where you would actually walk up and get to the units and access that way.
Just trying to see for emergency services purposes, if there's an emergency, some of the apartments have that front door that we can't get into without a code, so.
Absolutely. All these should be easy access to get to. Any individual apartment you want to get to, you'll be able to get to. And once again, any input you have for us, I mean, through the design process, feel free to reach out. Obviously, everybody here, you know, have our information we encourage fire department, obviously your job, you know, obviously we're making everybody's job, you know, come together on all this is surely always our goal, so.
Okay.
Questions?
Victor Gamboa, I live here at 25063 Maryland Court. Okay. The new house. Yeah, phase 1, I think. I apologize for walking in late. I just wanted to know, how is this community going to connect to the other community?
So there's a path, and we actually we have a path. Let me get this illustrated.
Originally, it was planned to be a road, but with the water, you can't actually have a road, so it'll be a path with a little bridge area to get across.
Yeah. So the first thing that MD does when you're doing a project like this is their first requirement on any type of wetland permit, and we went and talked to the town early on this for the connectivity, because connectivity is so important. Every project is built in the town, and that's everybody's trying to achieve that connectivity. They have something called avoidance minimization, and if you can avoid it or minimize it, you absolutely have to do it. So there's no even, you know, kind of going beyond that point. So in this, we realized early on to go across the floodplain that's there and all, other than doing some type of walk path was going to be difficult. So it's actually going to, so this is the connectivity from this community. Here's Meadows, you know, this is going to be confusing. This is Meadows at Town Run 2. This is phase 2 of 1. so the back here with, so as you come off here at the back of the cul-de-sac, when you go in and you make your left onto Meadow Street. So when you get to the back and you're making that, back on the right, there'll be a trail that goes off, and it'll be a 5-foot asphalt trail. Every few hundred feet, we're kind of going to work with the topo as we're going through there, and every few hundred feet, we're going to expand that out, just in case somebody's coming one way on some bikes, or somebody's carrying a stroller, or working with a stroller and maybe a bike with another, you know, child in the back or something. We want to be able to get, you know, some folks off. So if somebody's coming with a golf cart, you know, somebody could get off to the side. So we're going to kind of probably make 10 or 15 of those spots along the path, as well as then when we get into the actual floodplain area and the wetland area, it'll actually be a cover, like a boardwalk. So it'd be basically a pylons going in, boardwalk across, and then we do envision like a little covered bridge, more as an aesthetic, you know, over the actual kind of water area. So, but, you know, people go down there and want to grab lunch. I'd love to see my picnic bench or two somewhere in the woods like that, so people get out and just breathe some fresh air and obviously be out in the woods. So yeah, so that's this represents that right here. So we're actually not just doing it's not just a straight shot coming straight across. We kind of walked out, we actually staked it out. We went out there and we kind of just put some stakes in the woods to kind of show a meandering path that goes through there. So we were trying to kind of just make it where it kind of works with the topography, and then also kind of breaks up where it's just not like a straight line to make a nice little path, nice little stroll through the woods. So that's how that all connects together.
Will they share the facilities?
Yeah, I think so. In the current HOA documents, the way Meadow 1 and 2 works is Meadow 2 has to be part of the facility, because it's not an option within that community. Meadows 1 was written that it could actually go either way. I think there was an additional fee that might be paid, or however. I have to see where it did written, but basically to have access to the pool and all that. But it was very minimal. It wasn't a large number, something very reasonable. So I could, I don't know if I remember doing that. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but it's within the document. So, but it's not a mandatory. Some people say, I don't need to the pool, and I recreate in other areas and this and that. So we didn't want to kind of force that issue. So we ultimately envisioned maybe, you know, half of the community would actually be involved in this and this not. But the numbers are all set up that it works, you know, regardless of that. And so we're, you know, should be in good shape there.
Okay, I apologize for walking in late. one last question, how many housing units and how many apartment units?
So no problem, I'm walking late, I was late too, so I was probably just before you, so don't worry about that. So we have 12 single families, 147 townhouses, and 144 apartments built in they're 36 unit buildings, so they're 3-story tall, and you've just seen the pictures of them, so 3 stories tall, and 36 in each unit, so it's 144 total. And then, so you've got a single component, you've got the townhouse components, and you've got the apartments, and they're kind of centered into the middle of this particular property when you're on that side of the property. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
I'm Bennett Wilson. I'm 23158 Town Run Drive, and I just wanted to know if the path was going to be lit.
Right now, we haven't even actually discussed that or talked about that. So there's no plans right now, but that's a good question. I think once again, anything like that, yeah, you'd have to think of, we'll look at all sides of that, but we'll put that into, and sometimes when we get that far along in the infrastructure, then we kind of leave it more to the community, where then the community can kind of have, the HOA can actually become more involved. And okay, what are the pros and cons of that, so to speak? If it's a little more people out there at the night, is that good or bad? But it seems like nice, kind of like in the neighborhoods, like we do in the neighborhoods. We try not to be overwhelming with streetlights because we just don't like flooding anywhere, like town or anything with light. And of course it's also another national initiative. They're all not glowing, looking down, from an airplane. That's so with that. I could see something even like some type of, I don't know, solar wouldn't necessarily work out in the woods, but something that would be, kind of a nice kind of ambiance, but not overpowering, something like that. But yeah, when we'll look, anything like that. And things like that are more, they can be done, looked at on the fly pretty easily. But right now we never really got to that part of the discussion, so that's a good question.
So just, I didn't quite understand your question, but it was about streetlights?
Lighting on the path, like if you're,
on the path.
If we're going to actually put lighting on the path.
Okay.
Question,
All right.
and like I say, we haven't even discussed that yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other comments from the general public? Okay, hearing none, I'd go ahead and entertain a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
I'll move to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Just hang around if they have questions.
Yep.
Okay, so on your, next to the last page of your plans was the phasing plan. And for phase 1 is what's kind of in orange, and that would get build the main road all the way from Hollywood Road out to the well and water tower, so that we can begin construction early on, because we need to get that water tower built sooner versus later.
Before we get into that, though, let me go back to the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we had to
Okay.
skip a couple. Jada, planning?
Oh.
Going back to the regular agenda here.
Okay, thank you. So the Planning and Zoning Commission met January the 18th. They had 3 items on the agenda. They heard the Dairy Queen proposal, which was concept plan review and approval of a 2,662 square foot building. That was approved. They also reviewed the request for architectural review and approval for a 200 square foot addition to the existing McDonald's. That was approved. And then they did hear the Meadows at Town Run presentation that you're hearing now. Obviously, the Planning Commission gave a favorable recommendation to you today. So the next meeting is actually set for Tuesday, February the 18th. Note that it was moved from Monday to Tuesday due to the holiday. And we have 4 items on the agenda, 3 of which are for the Clark's Rest subdivision. Item number 1 is Phase 4 boundary line adjustment plat. There's one little parcel where it kind of overlapped with Leonard's grant, so they're just fixing that. And then Phase 4A plat approval, a whopping 5 houses in Phase 4A. And then
Some new homes.
New homes, yeah.
So there's
leave it there.
we talked about it at a workshop, a company bought out the rest of the undeveloped lots. Marek will be staying and doing the multifamily, but they're not going to do any more residential, single family. So this company will be coming in and they have to bring in their architecturals for their housing, which it fits pretty much with what Marek has been doing, but they have their own models. So.
I did stop at a subdivision down in just outside of Fredericksburg over the weekend, and similar to what everyone else has got.
Can you say what company it is? Richmond, America.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But Marek will stay involved. Stay, they have the bonds. They stay with all the infrastructure, and we'll be here till the end. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Thank you, Roszell, for that level of detail. And then the last item on the agenda is going to be the Slice House concept plan review for a new 3,000 square foot building on the Park Avenue lot.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Comments, questions for Jada?
For the Dairy Queen concept site plan was approved, so what comes after that?
It'll go through site design and then final site plan approval with architectural.
Okay, and it doesn't come to
No.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? Thank you, Jaden. Okay, and we do have our deputy with us, Corporal Roszell, and everyone should receive a copy of her report. Anything you want to add to that? I was going to ask you, every year I ask for the accidents on Route 5 between Compton Road and Hollywood Road, just to send to the state because we're pushing for a light out there, and if you could, at your convenience.
I'm working with Christy on that.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for?
I did have just a comment, I guess. One of our constituents that watches the meeting on a regular basis, she said, you guys all get the police report, but we don't know what's on it. So I didn't know if there was a way to make it public or if that was something we wanted to do.
It is on board docs.
It is on board.
Yes.
Is that something that they can see pretty
Yes.
easily?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. That's what I needed.
Yeah, it's right on our website.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, we'll go to your report, Laschelle.
Okay. So go ahead and finish up the concept plan for Meadows at Town Run 2. So on the next to the last page is the phasing plan. We were talking about that. So the main road will go in all the way back to the water tower. And everything in orange. So it would be the townhomes right along the main road and the single-family homes, the recreation center, one apartment building, and then the road, and of course the utilities and sewer pump station. In order to accomplish that, they do need EDUs allocated for that. We're requesting 75 EDUs for phase 1 prior to the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. So that would allow the road to go in and the water tower to begin construction. We have gotten favorable comments, approval comments back from all the agencies, DPW, Soil Conservation, the Fire Department, State Highway. I think you have your full approvals on State Highway, right?
Yeah, we just worked with the neighboring property, I guess maybe to the east. We did on the easements, I had them signed Friday. We're been working on that for a couple months. That's completely done. So we got everything we need now just to submit that back to get signatures from the county and the estate. And then, it's fully approved, just waiting on those easements. They're in place now, so it's just a matter of building the paperwork. Probably our vision of that is to have that approved the next couple months and build that this summer. The project will probably be starting beyond that, and we don't want to, like in Meadows Phase 1, we had both the state highway work and the project kind of going simultaneously. There's just a lot of energy and activity. So we're really looking forward to, I really want to just get the entrance done, and we feel like it makes it a much safer intersection than for the heavier construction to start. So we're really kind of, so that's our goal, and that would be what would happen. That's our plan this year, is be building that this summer, get that done. It creates a left turn coming in. It just opens it up. It opens up the area, it makes it a little wider. You got XL, decel lanes. It just makes it a much safer intersection. So before, a lot of times you have it all kind of going at the same time, and I wasn't happy with how that turned out, you know, in plenty of projects we've done. If you can get it earlier, it's almost a kind of blessing to get that done, and that's what our goal is here.
Any other questions?
I did have a question. The pool that you're putting in, is it regulation size at 25 yards?
Yeah, so it's actually the one portion of it. So they're not. It's kind of an L-shaped pool, but yeah. So I think on the one portion is a 25. I believe it's right there at the 25 yard, but I don't know if it was set up for. I don't know the depths and everything else. If it's set up for actually any kind of competition on. But we have one built just like this up in Oakland Hall. Another project we have up in Calvert County. They do use it for that, and so. We didn't put the lines in and all that, so you would have to probably do the lining to do that, but it was built that it would kind of be that size pool.
So it'll have the appropriate diving depth at the end so they can dive in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We haven't, I don't think we set up like that. I'd have to look at, I think right now it's just set up as a community board. I have to look and see. I know enough on all that was done, so if that did provide the depth, I'd have to look at a little more detail on the pool to figure that out. But I know that's the size we've worked with, you know, kind of a combination of could it be converted to that along with, you know, meeting the requirements of the community.
I'm on the board of the St. Mary's Southern Maryland Swim League, and finding pools that we can actually teach children how to swim in is becoming more and more difficult.
Okay.
So it's something that we deal with the communities, put in these little pools, and that's not going to teach anybody to swim, which isn't going to promote safety. Right. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I'll get you the actual what we've got designed at this point. Like I say, with input from, you know, the league itself. I mean, would help us to see what you're trying to do. A lot of times it's minor tweaking that, you know, with very little cost differential that you can then accomplish something that maybe fits more for the swimming community that understands it better than you know, everybody. So I'll get something to you that we can look at like that and go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any other comments, questions?
No, go ahead, Jake. Okay. Rodney, you could have made mention, and I'm sorry if I'm asking again, but the reference the trail connecting Meadows 1, Meadows 2, do you have an approximately how long that is? Like how many miles? Is it a mile? I mean, it probably wouldn't be a mile, but
I think it's 5,000 feet, and that's kind of rough, but it's in that range. It's which is, you know, real close to a mile. So it's actually so it meanders through the woods, and it turns out to be a good distance. But I can get an exact on that too.
All right. The only reason I'm asking is because I was just thinking, you know, God forbid somebody have a medical emergency on it. If there's some sort of marker, kind of say where you are, how many feet you're in on that, that always helps.
Like you see on trails of 0.2, 0.4, even every 10th of a mile, we could have it marked, you know, easy with a little post. I mean, anything like that, any suggestions, anybody from the community, from town council, is that. I mean, I hope that, you know, like I always tell everybody, feel free to reach out to us or you know, to feed it through Jada, Laschelle, as far as because little things like that make such a humongous difference, and it's like, you know, it's the things like that. You think of the lighting that she mentioned, just you know, whether it's a faint lighting or a dramatic lighting, you can still get lighting. Is just a big deal, you know. If something like you just talked about happened, that there's lighting for, you know, EMTs to get involved and get down there and not ready to run around in the dark on any good night. So I think that. Yeah, we absolutely are open to anything along those lines, and we'll incorporate that in the ultimate project.
Okay, and I'm just assuming the trail probably won't start until the road is put in Meadows 2, right? That'll have to be put in first.
So our thought was that we potentially would build a trail. We just kind of, you know, start on this side because we can. You know, we could get the work we have to get done, and then getting down even to the wetland crossings and working on all that permitting and all. But to get coming from this end and then waiting for but just to have something, you know, that you know, to be able to go back in the woods, you know, 1,500 foot and have a trail that goes down, and then eventually connect it. So early, as far as I've told my guys, it's you know, as far as on this side, you know, of the community, that we go full speed ahead to get that done. And we obviously want to bring in even the construction portion that comes through the community. The more we can get done, the better. And yeah, so our goal there would be to, you know, once getting past this, you know, this is kind of the, you know, our move to go to a harder set of construction drawings, and we're very far along with the project itself, like the storm management, everything, you know, like but then you start getting to those the recreational pieces and the accessory pieces where you really start taking that and push. So beyond you know, tonight, if we're fortunate with the approval, then it'll be full speed on all those initiatives. And yeah, I'm getting old. I want to get it done. I want to keep it moving.
No, I think overall the plan looks nice. And, you know, it's less land clearing, which is great. I think the apartments will be a popular thing. The townhomes, you know, a lot of people are looking for that. So,
Yeah, we're going out to see. I talk to us all the time how blessed we're to be part of the town, and we look at it like, you know, it's a piece for my family to have a piece of Leonardtown forever, in a sense. That's how I look at this. Even when me and Dale talk about doing, I'm like, my God, I would, you know, love that for that aspect alone, that we're really, and you know, it'd be our family for our plans and how our documents are growing up, is that it's in our family forever, and that we're real excited about that, you know, to kind of be a part of that, and we'll be a good steward of it as well.
we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just had one quick question for you. With regards to the apartments, I know Quality Built Homes is going to manage them. Do you have any idea of like the rent, what the cost is going to be, or?
So right now, everything that we have in projections, of course, right now with material costs, we wouldn't even be able to build them, quite honestly. Right now, it's a struggle to build the single families in town. We went through last year, went through crazy, we were losing money, but we're willing to do that to keep our projects moving forward. So it's just crazy, but the hyperinflation that's going right now in material, that will come down. Whatever's on the backside of this, it'll come back down and it'll normalize a couple years out, and I think we'd be in the run of doing this. But right now, the projections were that we'd be in the $1,400-1,500 range. And we have several different types. So we have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and so the 1 bedroom, say in a 900 square foot range, would be in that lower spectrum of maybe a 1,275, and then we're looking at the two bedrooms being in the 1,450 range, and maybe the 3 bedroom was 1,675. Those are numbers we have written down in kind of feasibility studies that show what works here. And then I guess one thing I would add there is when people, because I know in all the kind of the Southern Maryland county, well, I would say more St. Mary's and Calvert, more in like a kind of a rural setting where you're seeing more, that you're seeing this development, which is it's very needed and it's very called for. But what I have told a couple of folks, even in Carroll County, there were one site went up, and of course I think you guys have had the same thing happen here. It goes up and they say the rent's going to be here, and you get there and it's $400 higher or it's $300 higher. Well, the biggest safety net for that is to create competition. I mean, create other opportunities, because that actually creates, it controls not allowing somebody just to gouge if it's possible. They have to more to make the business model work. And so I think I kind of look toward that like us even being involved, it kind of even helps with that, and on multiple levels, even on the single family side of what we're doing here, by doing some of this other multifamily adds, I call it, like the ecosystem of housing. Like, you need housing that we all can afford, and some people they're in that stage of life that they're really set for that single family and that white picket fence, that's what they're looking at. But some people are going through divorce, or it's a single mom, or it's a young couple that they both got good professional jobs, but what can you afford and what kind of prices are nowadays? And so it gives everybody something that they can fit into and live into and still be embedded within the same community. So we're really excited about that, and also not continuing to put a stock of something that's there that ultimately would even affect that value in the future in a negative way. It allows that to be, once again, supply and demand. A certain demand for that product in the single family, what's built between Clark's Rest and Leonard's Grant and Meadows, too. Like we almost feel like it's almost, and the rest of what's in Leonardtown. We feel like it's kind of beneficial to that as well, by having this kind of facet of housing. As you heard, from her leaving, retiring from her job, and where's she going? She's staying in Leonardtown, and I don't blame her one bit. So because it's such a wonderful place, so to do that, you need those options for all the people. When we started talking about this project, we were actually walking that path with Laschelle and Jada to go show them what our thoughts were on the connectivity and this and that. And Jada's daughter was at the time making a decision of, wow, it's hard, I can't find something right here that I really can afford, so I'm going to move here. And you watch, moms or dads, when they're young get up to 20, 21, 22, and you think, oh, you're almost happy to kick them out, and that's great until they go and get far away, and then maybe you're not as it's sad. It's sad that the options should be everywhere, and including in your backyard, and that's and I hope with this project will bring out a little bit of all of that to the community. So,
great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, I agree. We do need some more diversity in types of housing that we do have. So
absolutely,
yeah,
it's a vital part of. It's a vital part of an overall healthy, what Leonardtown strive to create all along and has, and create this wonderful atmosphere. I read so much stuff that everything I think of, I think, wow, that ties right back into what Leonardtown's been working on for 20-some years. I mean,
exactly.
It's hard to achieve it. It's hard to, and it's I think how Tudor Hall was handled, and I think how this project is, and I think there's some final you know, kind of in the big picture of Learntown, some of these, you know, final larger pieces that really, you know, kind of solidifying that concept that, you know, we've been all involved in for, you know, everybody's been involved in this town and others here for years. So it's exciting. It's actually fun to be part of. Quite honestly, I'm very fortunate. I think for that.
Thank you. Any other
I have one
comments?
question. So I know we've talked about a lot about like connectivity and getting into downtown, and I know we're seen some issues with getting our people trying to get across Hollywood Road over into Leonard's Grant to kind of connect back into the larger town network. Is there, or do you have any thoughts of a crosswalk there, or with this tying into that development, it's just going to create more traffic, I feel like, across that street?
I think that, so when we get into that, we get so lack of control because state highway,
Sure.
knows what they're going to do on their road.
No, completely
and I think
understand.
Roszell would always
Yeah.
fight for something like that. Probably.
Yeah, we would love that. I know Bennett just submitted a letter, which I gave you a copy of today, to State Highway. I don't know. I mean, we couldn't get a crosswalk in front of the post office at 20 miles an hour. I don't know at 40 miles
we're
an
certainly
hour.
pushing for it, but,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's needed. I think there on
It is.
5,
Yeah.
going from Clark Trust over to the eventual Tudor Hall,
Yeah.
those are a couple just really, really important
Yeah.
pieces. And I know that the mayor and Laschelle and everybody, every time we talk, it's always about how do you make that happen? How do you get that? And surely, I think for the ultimate, you know, vision of what they're going to be, that connectivity, making it safe to get across. We're not, you know, say, well, they have to try the bike for him, then we're playing chicken getting across 245. So anything we could do to help with that, support that in any way, absolutely more than willing, and
Awesome.
it's for a town initiative for sure.
And we are still pushing for the sidewalks from there down to
That'd be
the
nice, too.
courthouse, for the governmental center. Yeah. Anything else you have, Laschelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I did have another question. So 75 EDUs for phase 1, how many will that leave us at the?
We are at
remaining
around,
until-
I had it written
Oh,
down,
great.
around 200 and,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we're still
So we'll
gonna
have
be, we're still gonna be okay. We need to get this expansion moving, so.
Yep.
But it still leaves us a
Yeah.
few. Got it.
Anything else? Any further comments, questions?
No, I move to approve the concept plan for Meadows 2, map 33, parcel 104, tract 1 and 2, located at Hollywood Road and Dry Docking Lane for 303 units. Additionally, I agree to allocate 75 EDUs for phase 1 of the development out of existing capacity, with the balance to be allocated after the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant currently being designed is complete.
No, second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You too.
Okay, the next item is the bid for cleaning services for Town Hall and for the public restrooms at the Wharf and Port of Leonardtown. It has been over 20 years since we had bid the office for the cleaning contract. It went out to bid January 27th. We only received one bid. The previous contractor decided not to bid due to lack of staffing and economic times. The price for the one-day-a-week cleaning for the office increased from $425 a month to $896 per month. And then the public restroom cleaning for the Wharf and Port of Leonardtown also increased from $1,500 a month to $1,641 a month for each of those locations. And we did increase the service there, though, 3 times a week instead of 2 times a week. We were just getting so much usage at the Wharf restrooms and at the Port of Leonardtown that I think 3 times a week. And then the Frogtown and the Patuxent Adventure cleaned them on the other days and stuff, make sure they're stocked. We really felt like it was time we needed to bid it. We really had some issues, and things have changed since we got the contract, so.
And the current contract said he just didn't.
They just didn't have the staff to be able to do it, yeah.
So the town hall we're doing one time a week?
That's all we've been doing, is 1 day a week.
And then the wharf is doing 3 times a week?
3 times a week, Port of Leonardtown, and 3 times a week at the wharf during the months that they're open. The wharf is open April through November. The Port of Leonardtown is open April through October. So I've given Rebecca all the updated numbers for the budget.
And we have, I mean, that's significant increase, but it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, right. I mean, we don't have a cleaner anymore.
Yeah.
So when they, like these additional services they can do upon request, is that included in that? Or?
No.
No,
I mean, those are just things that every once in a
just-
while we
okay.
have them, scrub certain floors or clean carpets or whatever.
All right, well, I move to award the office and park restroom cleaning contract to O'Connor Commercial Cleaning for a 1-year contract with 2 1-year extensions.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion?
Was this, did we only receive 1 bid?
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Next item is a liquor license letter of support for Bruder Garden extension of premise. The second section of Shepherd's Old Field Market is opening, with Botanic Cafe moving to the new section and a number of other small shops. Jerry LaRue is expanding the outdoor seating area to include the area that we had previously approved for a 1-day extension during Bruderfest last fall. And I attached a map to kind of show you the new section outside. It was a larger scale and then a closer up scale. So she is going to be going to the liquor board for the extension of premise. I guess it didn't copy in color, but you can kind of see the heavier line.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is colored, okay. Mine's not.
You just got unlucky.
Yeah, okay.
Comments, questions?
So, I move to approve a liquor license letter of support for Bruder Gardens' request for extended outdoor seating of their Class D license.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Further discussion, comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
Okay, that's all the agenda items. I just had a few other items. February 23rd, the waterfront plan presentation by Mayhan Rachael and Arnett Muldrow. It will be live streamed as well as in person. It's 4 o'clock on the 23rd. Hope everyone can attend that. The State of the Town breakfast for LBA has been scheduled for March 11th at 7:30 a.m. at the College of Southern Maryland Auditorium. And we have been working on the facade grants. We received another $50,000 Community Legacy grant to do our 3rd round of facade grants, and those went out last week. We've had a huge request for them. A number of applications have already gone out. They're due on April 1st. We also submitted a $750,000 grant for the wastewater treatment plant flood items that we need for mitigation of flood study that we did, and for stormwater management for the entire site. So Rebecca and I worked with GHD to submit that application the end of January. We also submitted another Maryland Heritage Area grant for $75,000 for the alley network. We're about $150,000 short on that project, so hopefully, fingers crossed. And then we submitted a safety grant for a message board. We borrow the counties and the sheriff's departments for large events, and they had asked if we would try to get one, if we could get a grant. And then also submitted for a new kayak launch. We can get $10,000 grant from DNR for that, and we'll have the rest of it in the budget. But it really needs replaced. It's in very bad condition. It's about 13 years old, so working hard to try to get some more money coming in.
What's the message board?
The electronic message boards for traffic control.
Time people were to park and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah, okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else for
I
Michelle?
have one quick question. We were down at the wharf the other day at the park when it was nice the other day, and I saw that some of maybe this next section of the wharf had been, or not the wharf, but
The slips.
Pier.
Yes,
Yep.
they were delivered. They are just going to be moving equipment down very soon. They've just been delayed at Indian Head, but as soon as they get free, and they're going to be replacing the decking boards and finishing the next phase. And we'll be working on the pump station. I just signed and sent the check for SMECO to run the electric to get down there. So.
Awesome, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lack of things going on.
Yep. All right, move on to my report. A question for you with presentation on the 23rd. Did you find out what time they were coming in?
I did not, yeah.
Okay. So actually, I was contacted by Father Andy White. They want me to do my council session with them that morning of 23rd. So it'll only be like an hour. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to do a mock council session for the If I Were Mayor essay contest, and we haven't heard from Duke or Leonardtown yet, so I'll let you know if anybody wants to join me for that. Certainly can. So LBA report, Joe.
We met Friday. I think we're at a point where we've all discussed that Leonardtown's just growing, and there's a lot of streamlining to do with the events and looking for a way to always improve business. It's been very busy. It's February, which is a very good sign.
Yep.
And we talked about the trolley and funding the trolley, and Mary was there, and of course Dan was there. And it's nice to hear everybody's input. We had a very nice turnout, and we got a lot of things on our plate, just like you guys do. And we'll let you know when we come to some decisions. But we have Mall Dyer Day coming up on the 26th. And that looks like it's going to be a good turnout already. I think the Historical Society said it's the second largest event they've seen on their site in terms of traffic and everything already. And then we are going to do 2 concerts this summer in the square, larger concerts, and we have booked Blazing Keys for the 23rd in the square, which is a dueling piano group, so it should be a good time.
Yeah, we're just kind of downsizing some of the events just because it's so hard to close down the town completely now, and it's worked. When we first started it, we didn't have anybody coming to town, so these events over the years have worked. So
it's funny because I think the restaurants are seeing it too. I just gave my staff a little spiel. We were doing wing deals and all these deals and everything for the longest time, and now the people are here. So it's time to we all look at ourselves and say, the people are here, what's next? So it's exciting.
Yep. Good. Thank you. Okay, move on to council reports. First of all, the Cub Scouts, you all have any questions for us so far? No? Okay. Well, if you've got some, I'll hang out for a few minutes after the meeting so you can ask me personally if you want to do that. So, you all are in 5th grade. Which schools are you in?
Lexington Park.
I'm sorry?
I'm in Lexington Park.
In Lexington Park? Is anybody in either Duke or Leonardtown Elementary?
I was in Leonardtown Elementary.
Okay.
But then I went to STEM.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did last year, did any of you see my If I Were Mayor essay contest or the mock council session at either one of the 2 schools? No? Okay.
Yeah, I think last year at Duke, I heard something about the mayor coming in.
Yep, I was there last year, so
Yeah.
so hopefully we'll do it again this year. So okay, move on to events. Tyler.
Well, Joe stole my thunder, but the only thing I had to say was the Mall Dyer Day celebration was scheduled for Saturday, February 26th. So a lot of activities with an opening ceremony at the Mall Dyer Rock and Tudor Hall, and then a scavenger hunt for the family with paranormal investigations, a ghost walk, and then other special offers provided by local businesses around Leonardtown. But that was it for events for February.
Okay, thank you. Nick, Community Development and Planning.
All right, thank you, Mayor. The only thing I had to report on, Route 5, seems like they made some more progress, so that's good. So
Yep. Slowly
right
coming
along,
along.
yeah. So,
Curb finally going in.
Right, yeah.
It's like sidewalks, yes.
Yep, but so happy to see when that's done. But
Yep.
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And Christy, Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have much to report on utilities, but like I said, we were out the other day. Was it Saturday when it was warm and town was packed? It was awesome. So yeah, it's good to see. I'm ready for spring now.
I think we all are.
Yeah. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Yes. That it?
That's it.
Okay. Jay, Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
All right, Mayor, thank you. So our next Southern Maryland Municipal Association meeting is this Wednesday. It's going to be virtual, but myself, it's going to be at 6 p.m., but myself and Terry, and if anyone else here wants to join, we're going to be here at the Town Hall. We'll probably go for approximately an hour, so it won't be long. And then the next one's going to be May 11th, and we're going to do that one in North Beach, and that's when we have elections, and North Beach will take over SMMA. Okay. So that's all I have. And also, I did try out Noli's restaurant in town. It was very good. So I think it's still reservation only, I think, but they have a good crowd.
Yeah, I stopped by there last, got an appetizer to take home one day, and they were very busy. So.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And Mary, Business Development and Retention.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I also wanted to welcome Noli's to Leonardtown, Maryland. It's exciting to have another restaurant. I did get to attend the LBA meeting on Friday, and I just love the ideas that are coming into downtown Leonardtown. It was so fun to sit there and listen to the businesses toss around some of the different ideas. You know, even though we're not going to do these big events anymore, we're going to try to make the first Friday, or they're going to try to make the first Friday kind of extend into the whole weekend. So it's not going to just be first Friday. And I think a perfect example is in May, they're going to be doing Alice in Leonardtown, which, you know, is going to go with the mural that's been put in. And then the restaurants are all doing, you know, like specialty drinks. They're going to kind of go with that. You know, there could be costume contests, there could be all kinds of fun things, you know, maybe some window decor for some of the local businesses. And what a great way to really, you know, keep people in Leonardtown, not just bring them in Friday, but bring, you know, and have them just do Friday, but come in Friday and spend the whole weekend, you know, and have breakfast and everything. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be great. And just because we're not doing the big events doesn't mean we can't have the fire truck down at the wharf. We can't still do, you know, some volleyball, beach volleyball or something on a weekend or something like that. So I think it was awesome. Thank you for the LBA for having it. It was fantastic.
Thank you for coming.
That's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.